Good evening. I'm Alwyn Logan and I'm the editor of Limeline.com, the online community newspaper that's updated daily and covers the towns of Lyme and Old Lyme. And I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Conversations, the monthly program in which we meet a local person with a tale to tell. But this month I'm especially excited and honored to have a very, very special guest, our state representative, Marilyn Giuliano. Welcome, Marilyn.
Thank you so much, Olwyn. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you. Talking of the folk of this district, we've just had a pretty big event. We just experienced Tropical Storm Irene. Obviously, it was Hurricane Irene a little bit earlier. It without doubt impacted, I would say, almost everyone in your district. Our viewers would be very interested to hear how did you sort of respond to them and to everything that was going on? How did it all sort of play out?
As a preliminary to the storm, Olwyn, I was meeting with emergency management personnel just to understand the level of preparedness and what to expect. I was reviewing as a person and as a family how to prepare for this event because we did expect protracted outages. And also I wanted to know what would be my means of communication to the people whom I represent in the event that they had that need. Now, albeit not being a public safety person or emergency management, my role was very, very adjunctive and peripheral, yet I had so many people calling, worried relatives from out of state who couldn't reach their family. They could reach the state representative for the region, and I was able to reach out to make sure that those family members were okay and to offer that reassurance. I got a lot of good ideas from people. People were frustrated. They would see the line trucks come in who couldn't work because the tree trucks hadn't been there first to clear the way. They didn't understand how the utility companies were making the decision, we'll repair this street, we'll bring the lights back on here. I was communicating every 6 hours with CL&P. Either telephone or email, to understand updates and to see what were the power projections, when was restoration likely, because that was the biggest question. What I found is that the people that I represent brought me many, many good suggestions, which I have promised them to communicate to the committees of cognizance, because the legislature will be convening public hearings on how did we do? Let's critique this, let's troubleshoot it, let's revisit some of the things that worked and those parts that didn't. There was an absence of coordination, an apparent absence of coordination among CL&P and AT&T and Comcast. We have the technological capability to offer real-time understanding of sequencing of responses for power restoration, yet we couldn't seem to get the tree crews and the line crews coordinated. However, some of the good people that I represent stepped forward and said, you know, Marilyn, maybe the police could, start an inventory of which streets are cleared, so that the linemen, when a line crew shows up and wants to be deployed within a town, they would know where to go, and they wouldn't be wasting time waiting for the tree crew to do that. We have the ability to use real-time information and to plot that electronically so that we could have that real-time map and also make that available to those who had internet or iPhone capabilities so that they would understand, help is on the way, this is what the timetable looks like. More than anything, people wanted to know when, because at least we had a target to shoot for. I've been advised, and I think that this would be a good thing to do, that towns should review their plans of disaster recovery. I know that that's going to happen as well. But that coordination, the use of social media, what a great idea for those who could access power at some point to get real-time information. So I think that there are ways that we can improve our performance and response next time around.